And we are live on Unfiltered again. If you just tuned in before, we had some slight technical issues that made me sound as if I was talking to myself, which isn't the best for anyone because I don't make any sense. But we are back, William. We are talking about coaches in the NRL. It is the worst job in the world.
Yeah.
It is impossible to have a mortgage because you get the arse after about 6 months.
Yep.
Who is going to go first?
Well, just looking at most of the blokes, I've got Brownie, Cleary, Dean Pace, Seabold, Kearney and Mary. They're the blokes under the pump mostly because they've got great rosters, but they're underperforming. But Nathan Brown just has to, he just sits out on everyone's list. He's been up there, I think this is his 5th year now, 3 wooden spoons, which were understandable. They had probably one of the worst rosters, probably equal 14th last year, I think, and everything was like promising, mid-year, and they fell off again. Then this year, got everything. They've got a few buys from Melbourne, people to stock that pack up.
Glasby.
Glasby's an Origin player. They had some other people in that, Ponga in his 2nd year, Pearce, all these players. They had everything given to them, like given to the team, given to Brown. They've got the best facilities up there. They've got the best fans in the game, and they're just underperforming. I think back, I look at their whole year, it just looks like a massive big ball of inconsistency. And I just go back to that one game, it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, just after Origin, they got beat by the Bulldogs. And it felt like the wheels just fell off from there, like it hit panic stations. And I just think it's up to a coach personally, at this like end of the year, the business end of the year, when you're in a good position, they need to get, their main objective for the week is not to flog you around in training or make sure you do you do everything and do the field sessions and that. Who gives a shit? Do the captain's run, maybe the one before that, and 80 minutes on the weekend. Get them up for that, and they look like they're flat as fuck. And it's pretty bad.
You can make excuses for Newcastle. If you look at the start of the year, Ponga was at 5'8", it failed, right? Then all of a sudden, they change him back to fullback, they start winning games. Then they come into Origin. They've never had to deal with having so many Origin players. They've got 5 or 6 Origin players for the first time in a while. So they make excuses for that.
So whose fault's that? It's the coach.
Last week, though, that was toilet. And you look at a side now, they really have put themselves in danger of missing the 8. Now, with a roster
12.
of that size, a roster of that quality, what does a coach do? I mean, you played under a lot of coaches because you played for 500 years. What's the difference at this level between a good coach and a bad coach?
Man management and managing your injuries, having a great head trainer that you trust. You don't have to if just say if Ponga's injured his calf or anything like that, or Pearce or any of the senior players or anything, you don't have to go double check on coach. You don't have to double check on your players and try and go around, oh, is he okay? That's where the good coaches, they really have they trust their head trainers. That's like their best mate. And just getting them up, as I said, just getting them up for 80 minutes. And that's it. Just manage them during the week.
So what does a head trainer do? So tell me,
the trainer has a lot of responsibility. They do, because he's responsible for all the load and all the weights that you're doing, everything. Everything's very specified now. These guys are everything is on a GPS, everything's recorded. You can't get away with anything. So if Ponga's running too many miles in his legs, or if Pearce or Kenny Dowell or anything like that, it gets cut back. Everything's on, the data is there, so they know.
How many miles on your GPS system when you sat on an exercise bike for the last 4 years of your career? Well, that's stationary. Do they count?
Fuck off.
But the thing with trainers and coaches, obviously, they're all talking, they're all working together for the same thing. Yeah. Once a coach comes in and says to the team, surely game plans are at that level, they can't be that complex.
No, that's what I mean. You game plan for teams each week, and I think that's the difference between these coaches that I just mentioned and Craig Bellamy. He's probably the pinnacle of it. Every week he game plans for. You're so prepared. You know what I mean? You go against whoever they're playing. Who they play on the weekend? The Broncos. There's no excuse. I mean, they can probably afford to drop a game, but they went up there and they played. They just outplayed the Broncos in every single aspect. Yeah. Through the middle, out wide. You don't know what Storm team turns up.
They destroy
you.
Yeah.
But this is every team. So they get that if they're going to play against a ruck, just say they're playing against Canberra, or if they're playing against a bigger ruck like even Brisbane, they will move the ruck around. He'll move the ruck around until it's time to pull the trigger, and then they'll score a try. So that's what he did to these young Broncos. He just it was a wide ball, so you're not running in against the markers or at A or B. He's hitting C and getting the 4 defender in, and then he's attacking down short sides, and then he'll open the field back up. Like it's so hard if you're a young kid, if you don't know the rules around the ruck or the ruck recognition, having senior players around in the middle, you'll lose the plot. You'll start making mistakes, and that's what he'll do. That's what the difference between a great coach like a Bellamy and a Wayne Bennett and Ricky Stewart and all these guys that are in the top 4. They game plan for your weakness, and they'll keep going at it because they've got the players to keep going at it and keep playing for 80 minutes. Where the Broncos, they're a good 50 to 60 minute team because they're young and inexperienced. But
I reckon if you look at Bellamy, one of the greatest things about Bellamy, and you're comparing a bloke who has obviously had a pretty strong roster, but he turns good footballers into great footballers, and he turns average footballers into good footballers. If you look at how he has changed his game plan, losing the players he's lost over the last 3 years,
I would have thought they would have regressed this year. I honestly
genius.
thought they were going to regress after losing Billy and a couple other players. I was just like, even like a Glasby, he was down there, he fit in their system so well. I was thinking, Glasby lost, and they lost to Christian Welsh now, which is such a shame for him, done the ACL. But like another guy's going to step in there.
Karma Chameleon comes back.
Yeah, the big Karma. But like, I just think I can't give enough praise for him because I just watch him every single week, and I watch all those top teams, and then I look at these other coaches, and then I can sort of put something together and go, you know what? I'm as a player, I'll be like, when I was playing, I'd be like, it's our fault. It's our fault. It's always the player's fault. We're responsible for it. But not on the outside looking in, I'm like, fuck. Like, why is the coach game planning like that? So why are they playing? Why does the Knights specifically go down that left edge 65% of the time?
Ponga.
Because of Ponga, they're on because of Ponga's brilliance on the weekend, and then because DCE rushed up on him, he made him play his hand. If DCE waits, if he had his time again, DCE would never rush back on him, would never put that much pressure on his inside man. Ponga would have had to pass the ball or kick it. But if you give Ponga those cards, he'll step you, he'll smoke in. He's such a brilliant player. But like they're onto it.
And they've lost Jesse Ramian now.
If you're a left side back rower, at the Knights, you'd be cheering, but like that Fitzgibbon doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
He does. They're on a different page. Like I just look at that left edge and go, if I was a back rower in the Knights, I'd be like, yes, got Ponga around there. You got Pierce. You got a great left centre, a great winger. I was just like, but they're all on the wrong page. Where the last couple of years, where there was no pressure, Fitzgibbon scoring 10 tries a year, and now he's regressed so far.
So if you look at Nathan Brown, and he's disappointing because he's got a good roster. The other blokes on your list, Seabold, you can't deny his roster is strong. I mean, he's probably struggled in the halves.
Halves, mate. And you've got to have your core strong.
Dean Pay, fair enough, has inherited a pretty average group of players, which is fine. Carney, they're perennial. You look at Mary McGregor. Now, we were talking about this before. They've dead set got signs on the hill trying to get rid of the coach. So whenever they score a try and they're winning, they're still waving the signs, get rid of Mary. That's good for his...
sucks. I mean, Mary...
Is it time for him to go?
Well, we're only picking on coaches that have the best, some of the best rosters. He's got 7 rep players in his team.
Yeah.
On the weekend he had 5 current Origin players, and you can't beat an Eels side who has no one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference there? I look at games like that and I go, it must be the coaching or the players don't want to play for the coach. It's simple. Like I look at that. I mean, I look at Seabold. He inherited a great side,
and then ripped it apart.
And then sort of ripped it apart. I mean, like Roberts, Sewer, Maguire, Kahu, Nicarima. There's just players that left when he was whinging about this week, where he goes, I've got inexperienced players, the players around the ruck with the Payne Haas, Payne Junior, Fafita Junior, Lodge, those guys in the middle, a couple of really young outside backs. You're a first grader.
Speaking of Queensland as well.
First of all, you're an NRL player. You get paid to play NRL. You don't get paid to and being like, I know what the Broncos' mentality is. You need to win, regardless of how old you are or anything. They're in a win now stage. They don't sit back and build. That's what the Dogs have never been in a position where they have to sit back and build. They're a club that breeds success. You put that jersey on, you are expected to win, regardless of your age. And that's how a lot of teams are. I mean, like some teams like the Knights at the moment, I don't think they're really playing for that club. I mean,
One of the blokes you don't have on your little list that gives me horrendous anxiety with your writing skills is Paul Green. Now, we've actually had a question come in about Paul Green now, and it's a legitimate question because Ashley Peterson, thanks for watching, Ash.
He's up there with Nathan Brown. Sorry,
look at his roster.
100%.
He should be
under the pump.
Morgan.
Yeah, he should be under the pump. And I just think, even like going back a couple of years ago, why the hell isn't Kalen Ponga playing for him?
Well, you got rid of him.
Well, he got rid of him, exactly. Yeah. He is a superstar of our game, Ponga, and everybody knew that. But I know for a fact that the reason why he left was because of the coach.
Yeah.
So if I'm the big dogs up at North Queensland there, I'll be checking the coach because I look at that roster. I mean, how long can Taumalolo carry that team?
Yeah.
You know, like Matt Scott, who's been such a great player for like 15 years up there. He's done now. You know, the leadership's all gone. Morgan's got a big job. He's been injured, hampered the last couple of years. But Taumalolo's still averaging near 200 metres and everything. You know, like everyone was whinging last week. Oh, they played him wrong. Like, I was thinking that fucking overplaying him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're playing him probably too much sometimes. Sometimes I go, like, 75 minutes in the middle, how about we back off a little bit and give him 60, which is more dynamic. Just don't take him off for 30 minutes like Green did. That's just bad coaching. So I look at most of my, like, I'm just like at these coaches now because I watch footy every week and I'm like, why isn't Taumalolo on? Why isn't this guy on? Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Like, when every team knows they've got the same sort of moves, you know, it's not the NFL where there's all these exotic plays and everything. Everybody knows what everybody's doing. It's just the execution. And if everybody's on the same page, a lot of these teams that we're talking about, nobody's on the same page. Everybody's sort of, you know, I look at the Knights clearly on that left edge. It was smoking the last couple of years. Now, Lachlan Fitzgibbon can't hit a hole. Ponga doesn't know where he's going.
Craig, I mean, when you look at Paul Green won a comp with the Cowboys, and obviously as a premiership winning coach, you get
about 3 years,
leeway.
I reckon.
Michael Maguire won a comp with South and got the arse. I can't see Green. No one talks about Green.
There's no, you know? Because it's up there. I mean, I think if you look at the Townsville Bulletin,
you reckon he's been copping?
I reckon he's been copping a fair bit because obviously the Queenslanders don't give a shit about the Telegraph down here. They read the Courier Mail and they read the Townsville Bulletin. I think it's called the Bulletin. But yeah, they don't care. They don't care about what we're doing down here. But I swear, Paul Green would be under the pump. There's you can't have that roster the last 2 or 3 years. Rest on your laurels. It's like, everyone's like, what have you done for me lately? If you're holding these players accountable every week, you're accountable too because you've got the best roster. Same as Nathan Brown, same as Mary, and the fans deserve better.
Well, let's talk about Ivan Cleary. I mean, you know my theory. Anyone who's ever watched the show knows my theory on the Panthers.
You've been deaf right in Penrith.
They stink. And I look at Ivan Cleary. Anthony Griffin got sacked when they were 4th or 5th last year. All of a sudden, Ivan Cleary's taken a roster that was 4th or 5th, and they're rebuilding. How do you go from in 1 year? How do you rebuild?
And then you get was it Wonga Blake? He was like on the edge of like probably playing Origin.
They're shopping Campbell Gillard.
Campbell Gillard. I think when he plays his best football, he's one of the premier props.
He was an Origin player last year.
But why? And an Australian player the last couple of years. How do you regress so far?
Yeah.
It's obviously you've got to take some accountability individually as yourself. It's like you must be doing the right things. But like he's a starter. Like mentally for a big bloke, like he's like, I'm going to play on the bench. Like just make him play himself out. Put him to Reggie's. I mean, you're just doing the wrong things with. This is when it comes back to like the mentality and knowing the mentality of your players. Knowing how like a Campbell Gillard would react if he gets dropped to reserve grade and Mansell. I don't think they reacted the best. I think Campbell Gillard sort of got back playing on a bench spot going, I should be starting, but I'm not playing that well. But he's on fair coin and everybody, and he deserves it. I'm not hating on anyone's money. Get as much money as you can. It's not, who exactly, and this is where it needs to come into accountability. It's like who signs him?
Yeah, not the coach, obviously.
Do you know what I mean? We go with the Titans. It's like you can't blame Ash Taylor and all these other guys when they put everyone's salary on the paper. It's like, yeah, what are you going to take less because you think you're worth less? No, you get as much money as you can because at the end of the day, when you're up, you're up.
Look
you
at
won't
the
earn
Titans.
That money, mate.
Look at the Titans. So Garth Brennan, I mean, he was there for 18 months.
Sorry for Ash Taylor, brother.
But I look at, so Garth Brennan came through the Penrith system. Right?
Yeah, he's a Newcastle boy as well.
So he comes through the Penrith system. He goes up there. He signs Bryce Cartwright on big money, Leilani Latu on big money, Tyrone Peachy on big money. Those blokes are either...
Latu and Peachy are Penrith boys, aren't they?
Penrith boys. They're all Penrith. So he's taken all these Penrith blokes up there and expected them... These are blokes that he knows. These are blokes that he's seen train.
But he doesn't do their contracts.
So...
You know what I mean? Like, he's giving them an opportunity. He's not doing their contracts.
He must have... I reckon he probably... If they perform, he's still got a job.
But at the end of the... Yeah, 100%. But at the end of the day, like, Latu's not going in there going... He would have been thinking, I'm not going to get more than maybe 350, 400 in this climate. You know, getting what, 600?
No, I think he got 500.
550?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Still
good on him. It's massive money. He's not even playing first grade. Peachy, like 600, 700. At that time, you know, he was in the Australian squad and he's a current New South Wales player. So
I heard
he probably
he's going to sign
it.
with West Reggies for 700.
But I mean, like, this is where a lot of clubs need to take accountability. Like, when you're the recruitment officer and you're the general manager and the CEO, they need to cop some accountability. They're signing these players. You know, like, good on the players, good on the managers for getting as much money as they can. But you know, everyone's just sort of hating on people for earning money. Like,
money should have nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it. But then they put everyone's contract out there. Like, I feel sorry for Ash Taylor. I just want him to come out, play some good football, live up to his hype. Maybe he needs a change. Maybe Canberra
Who's going to
Raiders.
take him at that money, though? No one's taking him for that money. And why would the Titans pay?
I reckon him under
part of
Ricky
his contract?
Stewart's tutelage.
He needs someone to teach
He
him.
needs Ricky Stewart there. I think they're losing a couple of players in the halves next year.
But they're signing that. They've signed that George
Oh,
Williams.
they signed George Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The
he's just going to
Canberra.
have to tough it out. They're going to have to tough it out for the next, 3 or 4 years. Like Gus come out, like I said,
Sack
he
them
just
all.
wants
Yeah.
3 players and fucking $8.5 million he's going to save. That's just ridiculous. But I mean, like, players aren't going to walk away from their contracts. You know, say, oh shit, because the media's saying I should go. They're going to stay there, and you're going to have to stick with it and get over it, because the team that they have is not a team that should be getting 58 points put on
How'd
them.
you like Kevin Proctor's little letter to the fans today? How was...
And that just reeks of I don't know, like defeat. Like,
Who,
do you know what I
who
mean?
told him to write that?
I mean, if someone told me to write, I'm like, unlucky members and fans. Fuck, we suck at the moment. My bad. I'm not writing you a letter.
Would you write
You
it like
know,
that? 'Cause
you know exactly that what's happening with us. We're under the pump. We suck. What's a letter going to do to a supporter? Oh, I'm going to keep turning up.
yeah. Well, they're not
Oh,
turning up anyway.
I'm going to keep sponsoring you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's bullshit. No, I felt sorry for him, because obviously the club's gone, oh, you're co-captain, write a letter. This will solve everything. No, get a win on the weekend. That's what solves everything. Winning solves everything.
Here's a question. I look at the Roosters. Now, the Roosters have signed Trent Robinson. In the last 6 years, he's been one of the most successful
he's a
coaches in
gun.
the game. I mean, admittedly, he's got a pretty good team, right? But is it time to stop recycling the same coaches, the 16 coaches? Oh, here we go. He got sacked from this club. 2 years later, he
boys
pops
club.
up at another club.
They're all in the boys' club.
Is
mate.
it time for the rugby league to go, you know what, that Aidan O'Brien or whatever his name is that was in the Storm system, and give these blokes a go? Because Trent Robinson came from Catalans or something. Holbrook could be another one. You know,
Yeah.
at least they've given him a start. Is it time to stop recycling the same blokes
Well,
over and over again?
I say that all the time. If they're all cut from the Bennett cloth, you know, like Bellamy's one of those guys. Tim Sheen, some that cut from the Tim Sheen's cloth. Brian Smith, they're all that sort of, mates of a mate of a mate that's in the coaching system, and they always get sort of put in here. They get sacked here, do a little bit of a job over here, and they end up being a first grade coach here. You know, it's very political when it gets like that. It's not what you know, it's who you know. If you're one of the head coaches, the big dogs, you can easily just give that guy a little bit of a catapult, and next minute he's the reserve grade coach. Next minute he's assistant coach. Next minute he's a first grade coach. So I think I'm pretty happy for the Titans to go out on a limb and to get Holbrook, because it means that they want to change
Something
everything.
new.
Something new, because you're not sort of recycling. You know, the Flanagan will come back around. He'll
That's
coach
it.
soon.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe Jason Taylor might pop up soon because he's already been in the system. So these guys don't work. Like, there's only a few, like the big dogs, that can stay for more than 10 or 15 years. You know, so
You think Cameron Sorrell, he was coaching first grade at Penrith last year. They did well, and then he's disappeared. There's these blokes that
he's
are
not
around.
part of the gang.
Yeah.
He's not part of the gang. Like, look at Johnny Morris. He was under the massive pump. Then on the weekend they come out and they play like they could actually win the comp.
Yeah.
You know, like Wade Graham's on another level. Bronx Sherry, Jesus Christ, they look dangerous. But
As a player, one last question about the coaches, and we'll
that's
move
all right.
on. As a player, though, how did you, if if you're, do you want to be friends with your coach? Do you want your coach to be one step removed? I mean, it is a fine line.
Fine line.
If you're friends with a bloke and he's coaching, I mean, not say friends, but like you're close,
Yeah.
and then he gives you a big spray in front of the dressing room for whatever reason, even if it's deserved, then you get your feelings hurt a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've been lucky enough to be coached by some of the best, but it was never mates. Folks here and I were like, it was a business partnership.
Yeah.
Like he's head coach. I had so much respect for him. Freddie Fittler was sort of maybe at that time it was sort of I played against him and played with him, played Origin. That was a little bit weird. And he probably at the moment now he's perfect. He'd be the perfect first grade coach. But he knows the stress of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just sit on Channel 9, I'll coach Origin, I'll get paid a shitload of money, chill. I'm stressed out for 6 weeks. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah.
So that's Kevin Walder's thing as well. So, and then I had, Neil Henry, and then I had Wayne Bennett. It was just like, and Jeff Tooby. But they're all like guys that I respected.
Yeah.
So it's a very fine line. And then no one was really mates because they're the old school sort of blokes as well. Like it wasn't, you could never be mates. And they knew that line. It's just like, I'm your coach, and that's about it. We're not going out and having beers. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. So,
what about the bloke at the Catalans?
The Catalans.
He was your favourite coach.
He was the worst coach I've ever had. Told me how to hit the fucking ball up, please.
All right. So there we have
From
it.
a winger.
From a winger. Wingers are no good. You heard it here first. And
French winger.
That is all we will do on coaches because
we'll keep going back.
We are going to move on for now because coaches are going to give us so much joy for the rest of the year.
Oh well.
Who makes the 8?
I think it's not set. It isn't set. Obviously, the Storm, Roosters, Raiders, Souths, Eagles, Eels. I think it ends there. Now everything else, Sharks, Tigers, Panthers, they're still in the hunt, and probably same as the Knights, Broncos, I suppose. And then I don't know. I still can't rule those teams that are on 18. I can't rule them completely out. I'll give them one week because I know the Sharks had probably the hardest run home. So like the Tigers could jump those guys. The Panthers could,
BJ wants to know if you reckon the Tigers are going to make it.
Well, they got a hard run. They got a hard run home as well. So I think they've got every chance. I think the Sharks will sneak in there somehow.
Sharks will make it.
You reckon they have to? But they got a ridiculous run home.
But they're too good.
They played really good on the weekend. But I think Tigers, Panthers.
Gee, I hope the
sitting
Knights
on the
make
edge. The Knights. I mean, the Knights could. Well, how many more games to go? 4?
5.
5 more games to go. So
Panthers will lose 3 or 5.
When you got to rely on other teams, it sucks. So I could rule those guys out.
If the Knights win 4 or 5, they can still make it. So.
Yeah.
Mate, the other thing, 8 teams, if you look at it this year, half of the teams at the bottom there, they've lost probably more games than they've won.
Yeah.
Is 8 too many? Are we rewarding failure now?
Oh yeah, when you sort of if you do make the 8, you made a good point. If you do make the 8 and you got like a sort of 500, you know what I mean? Like you're even, or you've lost the game, and you've lost more than you've won, and you've got in there on 4 and against. That sort of sucks. But I think it would stuff up the whole top 8 system. We'll
get rid of it.
Do you reckon go to 6?
I'll go to 6.
Well, it would make it a lot more like these games now would be dynamite. You can tell that the level has lifted up in the last 3 weeks after Origin, especially when you see the Eagles and the Eels, Sharks, Tigers, Panthers, even Knights, even Broncos. They're fighting for their life. They know how important it is to make the 8, and that's when all the fun shit starts happening.
Well, here's a question: can the Broncos win the comp?
They can't win the comp.
So why put them in the 8?
Yeah, I know.
They got beat by 40 points by
people will be saying, like, give him experience. I agree with you. I think cut it to 6, and then you'd really see that. Then you'd see, but you'd see it all year.
Yeah.
You won't be looking in patches where it's really fun for the first 8 games. Then you set yourself up, try and get through Origin, then try and get through Origin with a couple of wins, and then go for the race now. Like, you've got to be in the race the whole way. So I think the level of the game will be at its peak pretty much all year.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say, lower the games down, but they're never going to do that because we signed that TV deal. So I'd like to see 22 games and a top 6.
Yeah.
I reckon we'd get like the games, the level would be going up here because I know it's a marathon the year.
It's too long.
It's very long, and Origin is. I think the NRL just need to tinker with the game a little bit. The product is unbelievable. We sort of just we stop there. Oh, it's a great product.
Yeah.
We get through the start of the year with the build up to the start of the year is great. Then it's like fuck, let's get the Origin. Origin, we go back up. We go back down, and then we go to the semi-finals and
Yeah.
finals. So it's like it's a roller coaster for the players and for the fans, and it's a very long ride. I think maybe 2 games too long, 2 or 3. I think. What do you reckon?
Oh, look,
As a fan,
I think as a fan, they play as many games. You could put footy on 52 weeks of the year and people wouldn't lose interest because it gives them something to do on the weekend.
Yeah.
It gives them, and especially the hardcore face painting fans.
Yeah.
You know that they live and breathe it every week. I think though, as a product, the players get tired.
you can see that, can't you?
You can
see that.
And you know the next couple of weeks you'll see there's sides that can't make the 8. The standard drops off. So you get blowout scores like the Titans versus the Roosters.
You look at that one referee's call against the Warriors, and it broke their hearts. And next minute they got no fight in them. They get smacked. I feel so sorry for them. I mean, because that call was like it was crucial. I seen it, and I could see they don't have the leadership. They don't have the players in that squad to boost them back up to that next week and go, let's fight another day. Because they are on 17 points.
Yeah.
You know, but they in their head they might as well become the last.
8 games. They've only won 8 games.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. The more we talk about a top 6, which I don't think will ever happen.
No,
But
it's too many.
the top 6 would be great.
Now, the only other thing that I would like to talk about with you is, we've talked about this before actually, Sam Burgess.
Yeah.
He's come back from injury in the first 12 seconds of the game. He's actually tried to murder Matt Moylan, and now he looks like he's going to get a couple of weeks off again.
Have you checked? Is he suspended or is he still in the judiciary?
It's probably still in the judiciary. I know they're fighting it, which means if it's still in the judiciary, then it's probably going to take a while for them to come back.
Was he trying to just get the downgrade? Because he was facing 2 weeks. He's trying to get downgraded to just like grade 1 or something like that?
Hasn't come there.
Mate, Wayne's he's very disappointed in him. He had 7 weeks off just to get his body right and his mind right. And then come back. Wayne probably wanted from him, get 70, 80 minutes out, a real tough slog. But he's just a fiery.
He's an animal.
Just an animal. He just doesn't like going half-hearted. I mean, he's seen Moylan and just seen red. He just dipped his shoulder and went, all right, see what happens here. Moylan was out pretty. I mean, Moylan did well to get back up, but there's, another sort of whole conversation.
Nice fight with the HIA.
Why did you let him fucking play? You seen his eyes go out before he hit the ball, and then you can easily get knocked out and come to.
He was still on the field for
and
10
he
minutes.
threw a stupid ball. The NRL need to do something about that. It's a bit stupid. Whoever's doing that, the ref from up top, they're like, get him off. He just got his eyes knocked in the back of his head from Sam Burgess, who hit him with a truck. That's ridiculous. It's like, you're not looking after your players, are you? Like that was pathetic. I seen that. I was just like, all right. Everyone was sort of all caught up with the Sam Burgess hit. Oh my God, it's dangerous. Moylan's got his head knocked off. The only reason why he just stood there and copped it good.
He's a tough kid.
What happens if he's unconscious? Is that what they're waiting for? This is the reactive and proactive stuff. Are you waiting for him to sit there with his jaw hanging off and like completely knocked out? Because you know that he's knocked out. You don't have to be smart. It's just like a boxer getting banged. He's knocked down. Yeah. And he gets back up real quick. Yeah. That's what happens. So it was just pathetic. We try and look after players so much right now. And we get the perfect example like that. It's just like, fuck.
Who's worse, Burgess or Morley, in terms of record? Burgess is chasing him.
Yeah, but right now, Burgess is chasing him. Right now, because of the climate of the game with the no shoulder charges and pretty much you have to be the perfect tackler. Morley was crazy, man. Morley was hitting like that for a normal tackle. Yeah. And good luck, just get up. It was a great play, great hitter. Sam Burgess is just a cut-off. He's the same cloth. He just wants to go out there, go hard. He wants to make it personal. Try to make it personal with Wade Graham. Wade Graham's probably got one up on him. Yeah. He's probably played the best game he's played because he, like Sam Burgess, wanted to kill Moylan. But it's disappointing. I hope he gets off because I love seeing him play. But maybe he just needs to tone down a little bit because they can't win games without him. Yeah, that's right. Because he had to really tone it down for the rest of the game, and he didn't play his best game. And a lot of other players, they know they can get to him because he can't punch you in the head, and he can't shoulder charge, and he can't impose his will. And that's what a lot of players who are old school, you can't do that now. There's no more in the middle like Petro and Wedke and Gordy and like Mark O'Mealy and all these savages in the middle. It was like a big battle for like 10 or 15 minutes, well, pretty much the whole game. Yeah. And then the backs would get it, but the battle was in the middle. Yeah. And some blokes are just cut like that. They want that battle, And Sam Burgess he's from that cloth. He wants a battle in the middle. Everyone's like, I don't have to battle you, Sammy. We'll just pass the ball. You know, or we'll get around you somehow. And he plays on an edge as well, so he's not in the middle, so we can't really impose his will, because if he fucks up on the edge there and turns his shoulder in, they go down the sideline, which they did. You know, Bronx and Sherry was carving up, and so was Wade Graham. But when he goes in the middle, he can do what he wants. Like, he's one of the best forwards in the game, but I just feel sorry for him because he needs to get that old school sort of shit out, because the game will rub him out.
He would have bashed you.
Bash you.
But we'll go into the preview now. We're moving on to the preview of round number 20. The first game of the round is the Cowboys against the Broncos. Now, everyone in Queensland cares about this. No one else does.
It's huge. It is huge.
Do they? Does anyone care about this game?
Where's it at? Is it North Queensland there?
It is North Queensland.
I bet they pack it out.
They will.
25,000. It'd be crazy.
Nothing else to do in Queensland.
Who wins? I reckon the Cowboys get it up there.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to tip the Broncos in that, just because the Cows have been disappointing, and I tipped them at the start of the year to make the top 4, and now I'm filthy.
I want to see Pangai Jr. and Taumalolo.
Yeah.
Round 2.
Yeah.
You think Taumalolo hasn't got in the back of his head? Like,
he's had a dartboard.
He got it. Pangai Jr. schooled him in that first bit. I don't think he expected it. And I think he's been waiting. I think he had a few comments this week. Wasn't any shots or anything. He just said, like, he's a great player, he's aggressive, everything like that. So said all the right things. But in his head, these are the sort of things that, like, Sam Berger would love, because he'd want to take someone's head off.
Everyone.
You know what I mean? But you can't. So this is going to be like, and we love matches like that. But, like, they have to go looking for each other now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, before, just like, no, you just run there and you have to be in the way.
Straight in the middle.
Yeah. So, like, the game's just changed and it's evolved for the better. And I just think, you just got to get that old school shit out. But yeah, I think the Cowboys. No. Fuck.
Broncos. Cowboys.
Who's the favourites? I need to get on. This is why I've been 8 from 8 for the last couple of weeks.
You were not 8 from 8 last week.
The Cowboys are $2. I'm going the Cowboys at home.
New Zealand are playing against Manly. This is exciting for Manly fans, because if Manly win this game...
Let's go back to the coaches. Same roster Des Hasler last year. Why? What's the difference? Well, Des Hasler, like, the difference is, like, he knows how to coach and he gets all his players out. Like, just say, like, every single player, he'll get a 9 out of 10 every weekend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, instead of, like, players being so inconsistent all the time, he'll get every single, if your ability is, like, I don't know, like, just say 9 out of 10 every week, he'll get 8.5. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the sort of coach he is. So
maybe what they did was they replaced the Bunnings furniture that Trent Barrett wasn't happy with, and now Des is sitting on some comfortable chairs and they're playing better.
Yeah, I think...
We've actually had a question. Would you, I can't remember who it was from, let's just have a check. Brock, I think. Brock would like to know whether or not you're looking at a coaching gig.
Not really. I mean, I think I do a little bit of work with New South Wales with the 16s and 18s, like with the middle coaches. I find that very rewarding, because young kids, they're like sponges. They're big and they're strong, and in the next couple of years, you can watch them like blossom into first graders, play for Australia, New South Wales, and I think that would be my demographic. I'm not sure whether I'd like to pursue an NRL gig, because I know the shit that comes with it. Look at what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't want a show talking about me.
I'd happily talk about.
Do you know what I mean? But like,
ability.
I just think, with the 16s and 18s, I do a little bit out with the Bulldogs, like the 19s as well. Like, I get a few like requests to come out with some NRL sides, which I politely decline. But I just don't think I want that at the moment. I just think where my heart and soul is, like the 16, 17, 18, I know I can sort of have an influence on them. And I know, I just say stuff. I wish when I was 16, 17, someone would have told me stuff, how your NRL career could be. And, I just had to sink or swim, So I just think, I get a lot of rewards, personally, just like watching these kids grow. And, I've only just started. So the next couple of years, hopefully they get up and, play New South Wales.
Well, I tell you what, I don't give you too many raps, but Brock, I tell you what, this bloke's got one of the best football brains going around, and he would be an asset to any club that wanted to have him. So that's my job interview skills for him. Manly will beat New Zealand. Agreed?
Yeah, mate, they're playing too good. And over there would suck on a Friday night. It does.
You used
suck
to pull a
that
lot of
time.
hammies before you.
Oh,
had to get on
mate,
the plane.
it doesn't matter what Warriors team plays. It's an aggressive game, and even now where it's not, people going, "No, it's not that aggressive." It's aggressive, man. They're just an aggressive team by nature. So, yeah.
Speaking about the table here, the Sharks.
What a game!
They're guaranteed to beat
Panthers 9th, Paying $2.30. Sharks, 7th, $1.60 at Panthers Stadium. It's going to be a hard game. This will put, they've just pushed all the chips in.
Maloney's out. Maloney's out. They've got no 5'8".
Do you think, as a head coach as well, let's say Cleary, just say, Maloney holds the key to that whole team. You know what I mean? At the start of the year, Maloney's playing shit. Panthers go shit. He goes good. Panthers go good. And at the moment now, he's been having a little bit of a downtime. He signed with a great big deal, well-deserved deal over at the Perpignan. Wouldn't you say if you're a coach, come here, we need you. Just give me 6 games of your best games, and then you can go out like you want to go out. You play semi-finals again. I don't think he's had that conversation with him, because if he did, he'd be playing lights out. It looks like he doesn't really look that interested. He just wants to end the season and just get on his merry way to the south of France.
Maybe the coach said, I want you to go out and trip a bloke and have a week off.
I mean, that's bullshit. He should have got just fined.
You reckon?
Yeah, come on, man. I don't think it was anything. The intent in tripping, if you want to trip the bloke over and snap his leg, yeah, suspend him, but a little just like a cheap shot. That's just Maloney being a little grub that he is, but he doesn't deserve to be suspended with that, especially with all the everything to play for this week.
If Matt Lodge can do the sweep the leg,
exactly.
He's pulled the karate kid out.
Sweep the shit out of him.
I don't think he necessarily.
Out of Flanagan, but I mean, was that fine? What's the difference?
That was fine.
It was unreal.
That was fine.
Dragons, the leg, Johnny.
Dragons versus the Titans.
All right, who are we going? We're going Sharks.
The Dragons versus the Titans. Will anyone go and watch that game? Honestly.
So the Titans 340. I think the Dragons will clean the floor with
Dragons will beat them.
$1.30. It's not a good bet.
Parramatta versus the Knights. That's a good game.
Great game. It's a rivalry game as well. I know the Newcastle boys
Bank
really...
West Stadium.
I mean, is it a daytime game? No. Sort of... Yeah, the Eels, they're very impressive. Madge has got those guys, firing. Newcastle, this is a must-win. They don't lose. They lose this game, they're done.
Madge has got the Eels firing, has he?
Yeah, not Madge. What's his name? Brad Arthur. Brad Arthur has, because he hasn't got a one-rep player. He's got a couple of Polynesian boys in there that are playing really well. Fergie's out at the moment, but I've got to give a rap to the Mitchell Moses.
Yeah, he's playing enormous.
Yeah.
He wears a lot, but he's playing.
He copped a fair bit because he got touted as the next Andrew John. As soon as you get that, you just can't live up to the hype. Luke Brooks did as well. Brooks. But I think he's been outstanding. His game management, his tackling. His tackling is what I like. From a 7 who puts his body in front of the big boys, that's where he gets a lot of respect from his forward pack, and they're playing for him. Yeah. Kicks good. He's got I'm very happy for him because he was under the pump start of the year. Apparently, the coach gave him a tap saying you're not wanted really. Go look somewhere else, and he's proved everyone wrong. $2.35. I'm going the Knights.
Okay.
Who are you going?
I'm tipping Parramatta. Actually, do you know what? I'm not. I'm tipping the Knights as well.
Got to win.
They've got to win.
They've got to show some resolve.
I want the Knights.
I want Newcastle to win so bad. It just sucks that they're just going really shit.
Well
what do you think? Anyway, what do you think about this whole Ponga situation? $6 million over 4 years.
It could be paper talk.
I think he's worth it. If you look at Ben Hunt, who's on 1.2, 1.3.
It's so much of the salary cap. $1.5 million
I think they're going off. With the cap going up, going up. So he's signing a 4-year deal.
But who do they cut? I mean, there's a lot of rep players in that side.
Yeah, I understand that.
For me, I think it's too much money. I don't think anyone.
What do you think he's worth
in the game? I think.
What if the cap goes up by $1 million, or
if the cap goes up, fair enough, but you can't bank on that because at the end of the day, you don't know what the broadcast deal is going to be. So you can't then say, all right, we're going to future earn this. Yeah. I mean, they did it with Taumalolo and they got a bargain, right? But $1.5 million a year, that is an awful lot of money, Will.
It is, but I just think it might be all relative to this, only just to the salary cap. If they have the information on the broadcasting and everything like that. If the cap goes up 10, 11, and 12 or something like that, there's no problem.
No.
Everything's relative. But if it stays as it is now, he's not getting 1.5.
No.
He'd be still. I still think maybe 1.2 or 3. He'd be still. I think I'd nearly make him the highest paid player. I just think another thing. I think the NRL should maybe jump in here again. I think Ponga's too important to the game, the NRL game, because there's whispers that he wants to play union, and you think the ARU and the New Zealand, the All Blacks, aren't knocking at his door.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You
Like,
won't
that's-
get that sort of money.
Yeah,
in a
I
year.
know that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to lose another superstar to Union.
Bring back Nathan Tinkler. They can third party.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I think Ponga means more to the game than what you think. I think the NRL need to come in and just give some and top some contracts up. So if he gets $1 million, they give him 500,000.
Well, they've got that thing that they brought in, you know, after Jared Hayne left, where you know they're topping up the marquee players. But once they start to open that up, where does it end? You know, who do they? If all of a sudden all the top 5 players start going, I'm going to go to rugby union, I'm going to go and play NFL, and all of a sudden they have to dip in.
Yeah,
You know, because
it's just got to work something out where we can keep our main players. Otherwise, we're just going to keep producing them like we are.
I reckon,
and then we might just
let
keep
them
losing
go.
them.
Let's just, I mean,
each to their own.
none of them.
I let them. I
are
just go
aren't
okay.
replaceable.
Exactly, but
If he can get that sort of money, good luck to him. But I think if
I think
the
he
Knights,
might nearly get. I think he might nearly get 1.5. I think he's worth it. You know, because I'm only going off like what DCE and like what Ben Hunt are on.
yeah,
And I'm looking at them going, you know, $1.2, $1.3 million a year. Like, why can't he be worth 200,000 more than them? He's younger, he's better, he's more skillful. He's the face of the game. He will be.
yeah, he still is, but still, that's
Yeah,
a lot of money.
a lot of money,
It's a lot
but-
of money. Daily Chair Evans has got all your money still. Dogs versus the Tigers. That is a game that will actually. The Dogs are
Be a
going
good
pretty
game.
well. It'll be a good game, and the Tigers really need to win that.
I'm just thinking that the Tigers need to win.
They do.
Like the Bulldogs, $2.50, they're just spoiling everyone's party.
They are, aren't
I mean, that's what you do when you can't make the 8. You just want to ruin everyone who can. So their mentality, they've got to win it. They're in some good form. The Bulldogs. I just think the Tigers have got too much to play for.
they? Too much.
I'm just gonna back them.
Tigers done.
My heart's
I agree.
going the Bulldogs, but because I'm such a tipping guru.
You actually have been going
Yeah,
all right. I
it's
must say
bullshit.
that. The Sunday games are
What a great game.
the two matches of the round.
Couple of great games.
The top 4 are playing against each other, which again makes that Manly game pretty important. Because if
Yes.
Souths get dusted here, Manly move into the top 4 almost.
Mate.
But
This will prove Raiders where they belong in the pecking order here. Roosters,
they're all in
2
28.
o'clock game, Sunday game, dry as hell football, which suits the Roosters and it suits the Raiders as well. There might be a surprise. Maybe a BJ Lure might be coming back.
he's on the extended bench.
Yeah, so I think he might be. You know, hopefully that they're not pushing him and he's right to play because he is such a massive part of their offense and he's just a big body out there and he's
He gives
damaging
them a
as
lot.
hell. But
He
like
does
he
give them a
does.
lot.
But like coming back from a what?
You won't rush him.
A neck.
They don't want to win.
You know,
They-
like I
they
think
won't rush
your
him.
confidence goes from here. I've never had touch with any neck injuries, but like if I had to come back, I don't think I'm putting my head
No.
right next to someone's hip or you got to.
And he'd play against Mitchell, wouldn't he?
He's a gun, yeah,
He'd be on
he
Mitchell's
would. Him
side.
and it would be a great battle if they both if he was fully fit, and
Yeah.
I think he'd really take him on because they're both really aggressive players. $2 Raiders, shit. I'm gonna back the Raiders.
You're going to back the Raiders?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna be hard down there. They get their little the Raider clap going on. They get
Viking
that whole
clap.
Viking clap, Raider clap,
Raider clap.
whatever. Yeah, I think they just got a. They've got a good side, man. The Pommies are going good.
They get
the
the big
backs are
Raider
going
horn,
really well.
the Raider horn and the Raider
Mate, they've got a
clap.
great thing going down there. The culture that they're building down there. I follow a lot of them on social media, and they just look like a really tight knit group. So do Manly. So do most of the people. Most of the people that are in, most of the players and most of the teams that are in the top sort of 6 to 8. They all like seem like they're all going out, hanging out together, doing dinners and lunches.
Do you reckon all
it's not preempted bullshit that the club puts on. These are from individual players, so I can see how the forward packs are all going. They're all playing for each other. So
Do you reckon how they're signing all the Pommies? All the Pommies are coming out to Canberra, and they've come from Leeds, and they're like, Canberra's unreal. You should try this Canberra. It's so good here. Wait till
when they go to Bondi.
Go to Bondi. The Roosters will get a few of them.
You back in the Roosters?
I'm backing the Roosters. They win that game. And not by a lot, but they win it comfortably. Souths versus the Storm. Souths really need to stop a slide here.
Yeah, big time. Possibly no Sam Burgess, I'm thinking. $2.55 too. It's a bit of a kick in the arse. I can't go past the Storm, honestly. They're just
Burgess
whooping
still got it,
sides. They're smashing sides. They're playing so good, and I just think they've got too much class, man. It's at Central Coast as well.
Is it?
Yeah, 4 o'clock day game. So,
Good luck to the people of the Central Coast.
they'll turn up.
They'll
They'll turn up. They will turn up
Yeah.
massively. So, yeah, the Storm.
Storm.
I can't go past. They're just playing such a good luck. Whoever beats the Storm in the grand final, you have to play a 10 out of 10 game. I think the Roosters are the only team, and I think Manly can do it as well. I'm not sure about Canberra. I need to see that. I need to see these guys against the Roosters.
They need to stand up this week.
Good round of football.
It is a good round of football.
Yep.
That concludes this week's show. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. I'll be away for a couple of weeks, but William will have some special guests. He's going to miss me a lot. We're going to have a tearful embrace. Do it yourself, please. You do most things yourself. That is all. We will see you soon.